Hello to all YouTubers out there, and welcome to day number 2 of 90-gallon system total system breakdown. And here is the tank, which has been drained fully, and as explained in the previous video. And just quickly, if you guys are stumbling upon this video first, go check out video number 1, which will explain the process that I will be doing and the reason why I broke down the tank. Now, here is the tank completely empty, and the gentleman came over this morning and took the sand and took the sand over on the sump, and we're going to take a closer look at the sump, and we're going to discuss some of the changes out that I'm going to do to the overall system. Now, next to it here is a protein skimmer, of course, the AquaSea EV 240. Awesome protein skimmer, by the way, and I'm going to show you guys how awesome it actually is. It's turned off, but it's prepared with a 1-part vinegar solution with to 4 parts of water, and we're going to discuss that in a little bit. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to show you guys how great the skimmer is, and we're going to discuss a little bit about how to properly clean this equipment. Now, here in the table, you're looking at and quickly in the back there is my little white Christmas tree. I put it up about a week before Thanksgiving, so I like to see it early November. So Merry Christmas to all of you and Happy Thanksgiving. I hope that you guys are eating well and eat up lots of turkey. So what we're looking at here is some vinegar, some bleach, some equipment, which we're going to get into that. I'm going to be discussing that in a little bit. And over on this side is a false band reactor, which I'm going to be using as an example here. Now, vinegar, you're probably looking at this and you're asking yourself, why is this guy using vinegar along with Clorox bleach? And each one has its own purpose. So one cannot work without the other when we're working with trying to sterilize a system, and for those of you out there who are either purchasing a used system or breaking down an old system and want to do an upgrade, you might find this video quite informational. So vinegar, we're going to talk about vinegar. Now, the reason why I use vinegar in this process is simply because vinegar works as an acid and kind of breaks down calcium, which is in the system, and coralline algae and these hard encrusting type calcareous algae, which is within the system. Vinegar is definitely going to destroy that for you, and it's going to soften it up to the point that you can easily remove it from the system. And we're going to walk over to the 90-gallon system later. I'm going to show you guys how horrible, at least down in the sump, it is when it comes to calcification. So it's very important that if you're going to have a marine system, you're going to get it used, it's important for you to use, a solution of, say, vinegar and water to ensure that, everything gets cleaned out and you start brand new. Now, the Clorox comes into play in that the Clorox is going to be able to sterilize the system. Vinegar is not going to kill absolutely everything, and let me tell you, and this is by experience, I have set up a brand new system where I've taken an old pump full of algae and stuff like that, and used some vinegar, cleaned it out a little bit, and within a few months down the line, some of the spores of the algae actually survived and spread throughout the tank, and we had a huge problem with that. So the use of Clorox or bleach, for that matter, is going to sterilize your system completely. So we're going to talk about how much you need to use of each. You don't need to dump this entire Clorox bottle into your system. And I like to wait until all the calcium and all the coralline algae is removed from the system first before I use the Clorox. So vinegar. Now, vinegar, the amount of time, let's talk about this briefly. The amount of time that the vinegar and water solution need to actually be sitting down in your inside of your system with the water, or to clean the skimmer, really depends on the amount of vinegar that you use. So the amount of time, if you use a lot more vinegar, of course you can actually let the equipment sit down in a vinegar and water solution. If you use a lot of vinegar, you can let it sit down for maybe an hour to 3 hours, and then take it out, and you can brush everything off and it'll come off nicely. If you use a lot less vinegar, of course, you will have to leave it to sit down there for longer periods of time. Now, to clean the 90-gallon system, I'm gonna completely fill up the system, which there's a couple of things that work in my favor in this case with me trying to break down the system. One of the things that work in my favor is that the tank, as you see in it here, is actually located pretty close to the kitchen, and the use of a gravel vac, which you see there hooked up to the faucet, allows me to easily drain the water from the system and refill it back up. Now in this case, when you're trying to sterilize the system, it doesn't really matter whether you use RO water or tap water. You can definitely use tap water to do this process to make sure that your system is clean. So generally, it is recommended for you to use 1 part vinegar to 5 parts, 4 parts, 5 parts of water. So for example, this is a 1 gallon jug of white vinegar, and it's important for me to state this. Do not use apple cider vinegar. Make sure that the vinegar that you use is distilled white vinegar. It doesn't really matter the brand that you use, but it's important that the vinegar is distilled. So it'll actually dissipate easier, and it's quite safe to use. So for example, here on the protein skimmer. Now, to properly clean a protein skimmer, the skimmer looks dirtier than it's supposed to, and I just set this up. Like I said, I've been working on this for about 3 hours, and what we're trying to achieve here is to get rid of that coralline algae the easiest way possible, and the use of vinegar is going to do that for you. The acid contained inside of the vinegar solution is going to break down and is going to make it easier for you to remove that coralline algae. So this bucket that you see here is actually a 5 gallon bucket of 4 parts of water and 1 part vinegar. So there's 1 gallon of vinegar inside of this bucket, and there's 4 gallons of fresh water inside of the system of the bucket. So in this case, there's a lot more vinegar in there, and it's actually going to be quite easy for you, and you can take the skimmer and clean it out within 3 hours. You let it run, and quickly, I just wanted to show you, I'm going to connect the skimmer here, and I'm going to show you how good the skimmer is, because even though there's no salt in there and it's fresh water, the vinegar is not a part of the fresh water, so the protein skimmer is going to try to take it out of the water. And I'm having some trouble here, and I just set it up, guys. I have to work this out, and I'm going to do so. But the problem is that, when I try to turn on the skimmer, and let me show you quickly. Let me go ahead and turn on this skimmer. Let's move over here. And I'm connecting the skimmer now. And there it is. And what happens here is, as you can see, it's going to start bubbling to the point that it is going to try to remove the vinegar from the water. You can see the bubbles rising up all the way up to the top, and the skimmer's overflowing. And so I'm going to disconnect it here, but a quick solution for this would be simply to shut off the air valve. And I've done that. The problem here is that in order for me to connect this skimmer properly to this bucket, there is this skimmer has what you call a JG fitting here below the black hose, and the JG fitting allows me to hook up ozone to the to the protein skimmer, and through this hole of the ozone plug, which was actually clogged before. It was actually, I was using this little gadget here to seal it up. The problem I have now is that in order for me to set it up the way that I've done here, in order for me to leave this running for 3 hours so that it could clean properly, the hose had to go over that. So I had to remove the plug from the JG fitting, and air is being sucked in there. So I have to figure out a way to kind of seal off that JG fitting so that the skimmer won't actually skim the vinegar out of the water, and it will just continuously run to the point that it'll remove heavy concentrations of calcium in there. And you can see there's coralline algae even within the inside of the skimmer. So very easy to use. Quickly, we're going to review 1 part vinegar and 4 parts fresh water. You'll have a very easy time. If you use a lot less vinegar, you might actually need to leave it running for a longer period of time. So here's an example of a difficult task that it can be quite difficult for you to remove calcium when it comes to this reactor inside of this little tube that you see in here. And you can see there's some calcium in there and some coralline algae, and it's actually quite encrusted inside of this tube. And for this case, you would probably have to leave it running longer when it comes to the vinegar. You know, you leave it overnight, and by tomorrow this thing will actually be cleared up. And after you continue soaking it, you get yourself a brush, and you brush inside of it. You know, they do have some brushes that contain a wire, and you can easily brush that out and clean it out entirely. So there's still a chance that some of the life within this reactor here is going to survive, and that's where Clorox comes into play. Now, after you clean it deeply, what's going to happen is that it's always best to use a little bit of bleach to make sure that it really sterilizes everything that was in here. And bleach is actually rather safe to use, because within 24 to 36 hours, you know, if you rinse it well and you let it dry out, the bleach is actually going to dissipate, and it'll be quite safe for you to use. So we're going to walk over here, and we're going to take a look at the sump down here. Oh, and quickly, let me cover this equipment here. Now, with this series of videos that I'm going to be doing, the stand is going to be solid oak wood. And so I'm going to be professionally installing this system. You don't want to miss these videos, guys. And each one of this equipment here has a way for you to screw that inside of the stand, and I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be using a drill, and I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to professionally set up the system. So quickly here, we're going to look below, and I really want to talk about one of the reasons why I want to sterilize the system. There is a particular type of coralline algae that is growing in my system that I really do not want it to be there. Here is the sump looking rather empty here, and what I'm going to do here is that I am actually going to fill up this entire system with fresh water and add 3 gallons of the vinegar and just let it sit there for 2 days. Drain out the water and probably repeat the process once more, just to make sure that I get everything out, and then use some bleach within the system just to make sure that I sterilize the system completely. Now, we were talking about the coralline algae that I really don't want growing in my system, and it's this green type of coralline algae that you actually see towards the back there. Now, coralline algae comes in many different colors. There's several different shades of purple and burgundy, beautiful reds and green. But the same way that there are several different shades of purple, there's actually several different shades of green, and there is one particular color. It's like a hunter green type of encrusting coralline algae, which I really hate. And what I'm gonna tell you is that I had this system running for approximately 2 years before I introduced one piece of rock that came from a Petland discounts system. And when I added that piece of rock, I introduced this horrible green encrusting hunter green algae, which just spread all over the place. So that is one of the reasons why I really wanted to sterilize the system and get it up and running. So everything is going to be filled up with water. Many more videos to come, guys. You definitely don't want to miss this series of videos. And quickly, I just wanted to give a few shout outs to several of my viewers. You know, most of you out there have been so supportive, and your comments are awesome, you know. And go check out, I'm gonna give you guys what I'm gonna do is that, you know, from now on I'm gonna definitely do a couple of shout outs here and there. And there is one person I'm gonna mention here, and her name is 420 Amber Lee. Go check out her channel. She just started a nano system a while back, and she just introduced a refugium, and I was nice enough, you know, to send her some chaetomorpha, and she's quite happy with that. And the reason why I'm mentioning her in particular is not only are her comments awesome, you know, she visits my page quite often, but you know, she's got interesting videos, and she's a female. And it's important to get more women involved in this hobby, guys. You know, so many of us in this hobby, you know, there's got to be some women out there. You know, it's like out of all of my subscribers, 90% of you are males. You know, we got to get some of these women out there. I'm sure they could probably do a better job than we can when it comes to, you know, aquascaping a particular system. But here's day number 2, and I'm showed you guys pretty much everything that's going on. Stay tuned for day number 3, 4, or 5. I might actually wait till day number 5, but once I fill up the system, and I'm going to show you guys how much I'm going to use of the bleach, probably on day 5. This is probably going to be rather short. You know, it's probably within a week the whole system is going to be sterilized, and then we're going to start making videos on beginning the entire process of adding live rock, deep sand bed, everything of the sort. So hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Many more to come, so stay tuned. Rate my videos, guys. Don't forget to do that, very important. All I ask from you. And hope you've enjoyed the video. NewYorkSteelo signing out. Many more videos to come, guys. Peace.